Opposite Gloves here, and today we're going to be taking a peek into the land of melodies. So this is our melody exercise, and we're starting off with our rather strict set of rules. And what we're going to do here is we have our melody check. So I've given you a set of melodies and a set of chords that goes with each melody, and you must, it says here, criticize or compliment each melody. And so you're going to need to go through here and look at this. So maybe there's a note that's not a member of the chord it's a part of. And so, you know, that would be a red flag. Maybe there's two focal points. Maybe it's a boring contour. You know, criticize and, of course, compliment. If you like a part of a melody or notice a strong relationship, maybe an active tone or resolving correctly, you might mention that. And I have an answer key, of course, with this. That is also available in the description of this video for free. And you are able to go in and look at what I said. And I also, now you should catch the errors. Like on a test, I would expect you to be able to locate errors. So for example, if we look at this, we say, oh, we notice that we're in 2/4, and we notice we end on a weak beat. So that's a red flag. So weak beat ending there. Why these end on strong beats. And then we also look at, okay, well, let's find another pretty glaring error. So on this first one, let's go to the second one. We notice here we have 2 focal points. That's a problem. So you just, you know, you hit Control T and you put like 2 focal points, or just more than 1 focal point or something like that. Maybe there's 3 on some of these, and you look for that stuff. So go ahead, locate it, and go ahead, run your answers against mine. And you can listen to each one and also take note of what it does. Like for example, this one, we'd expect the climax to be obscured because there's no peak. And so now we do have sort of like a negative focal point down here. We have a lowest point, which acts as sort of it's sort of like we flipped it upside down. And so, but for now, we're concerned about the highest note. We're not going to talk about other rules or constructs quite yet. So anyways, there you go. There's some easy stuff to do. Now, if we come over here, I give you some chord progressions. So what I want you to do with these is create melodies using the following keys and chords. And slashes represent measures. So here's a set of chords for each measure. You're going to make this chord progression and then make a melody that obeys all the rules for each chord progression. So let's just do like the first measure. So we say, okay, we're in C minor. So the first thing I'm going to do, because I'm not going to put flats everywhere, forget that. I'm going to find a C minor key signature and drop it on. So we've got our C minor key signature. And now I'm going to make the chords, I'm going to do them almost all in root position. I don't think I did any even in the answers that were not in root position because we want to keep it simple for now. So we say, okay, I'll put down a C minor. So we go C, E flat, G, and then we go, okay, well, we got F minor. And then another 1. And then a 5 chord, which would be G, and it's going to be major, right? And we indicate major here too. So, all right, so this is our first measure. You would go through and do this for the whole thing. And then we're going to write in a little melody. Remember, our shortest note would be a quarter note. And so I'm going to do a quarter note for every measure, but maybe you choose to work with a half note or something. So, and the way you would do half notes, right, is you would look for notes that are the same. We'll use a half note on the second half. What the heck? So we're going to write the first little part of our melody. Maybe we're going to start with so we have 3 notes to pick from. We have a C, an E flat, and a G. Let's go ahead and start on a C. And then we see over here we have an F, an A flat, and a C again. And so we say C, and so we could go to A flat, or we could go, let's see here, we have C, D, go up to the F. Let's go down to the A flat. That sounds nice. Or, you know what we could do? Okay, so we're looking at these notes, and we want to be able to get to a G. And so I say, well, if I go down to an A flat, that allows me to get to a G. And the reason I want to get to a G is because the G is a common tone here. And it's also stepwise for this. So that's going to sound really nice. That'll be great. So let's go ahead. Let's put down a G. And we've got our first measure written. Of course, these are sort of just big structures we're working with now. It's like when you see a building go up and the framework is built up the building and they build the building inside this framework, and the framework itself looks kind of hideous. You know, it's all these planks and metal things put together, metal poles, and people are walking around on it. So, but it's important in order to build the building. And so in music, we have the same thing. We're building a framework, and then we're going to tear down the framework to reveal our beautiful structure after. So we're actually going to learn things to do to turn this into something that sounds actually pretty cool. But for now, this is what we have. And then here we say, well, that's a pretty fast tempo. So let's go ahead, let's change that. Let's go to tempo and drag a quarter note equals tempo on, because we're going to set it in quarter notes. And 80 sounds fine. Let's hear what that sounds like. And there you go. Then you can continue on and make your melody. You're going to do that for each of these, and they each have their own keys. They each have their own key. So that's pretty cool. Also coming down here, we also have a wildcard. Do whatever the heck you want, but follow the rules generally, please. So do whatever you want in regards to the new information we've now given you. And so I included one from a class. We had to use a Neapolitan 6 chord and write a simple melody with an Alberti bass. I went ahead and posted my example of what I did, and I thought that was pretty cool. In fact, I will show it to you. So we'll come here, we'll go to melody answers. And so here's the one. This is one of my assignments that I turned in. It was pretty fun, and we were given some pretty specific instructions. And so here's what I came up with. It sounds like this. So ending 1 and ending 2 would be a little more appropriate here, but I did this repeat thing, and we only had 4 bars to work with. It was just a 4-bar assignment. It was a little thing. But anyways, yeah, see, and following melodic rules, some of the rules and tools and techniques we actually haven't talked about yet, but they're being followed here. Now you might be wondering, what is the chord that makes this sound the way it does? It's actually this one with the N6. It's the Neapolitan 6 chord. It's often treated as either a harmony 3 or late harmony 2 topic. Generally, it should really be covered in harmony 2. So anyways, yeah, so that's what's going on here. That's the chord progression. This is my melody, what I came up with, and you can see we have various things here. I also use, this is a good thing to bring up. Here's another example of something we will learn how to do later on. So here I chose to go with half notes. Maybe I could have used, quarter notes and pulsing quarter notes. I didn't have to choose half notes. But I did, because that's probably what you're going to choose. And on this melody, I chose to use an anticipation. So good melodies will often have repeating figures in some way. Some aspect of it will repeat, whether it be a rhythm or a set of pitches where the rhythm varies. Just something that has a repetition. It gives the listener something to grab a hold of and be familiar with. And here I do this double note thing, and it's actually an anticipation. Which we have not talked about. And this is a very simple anticipation. It's not anything too crazy. But it has this effect of feeling resolved when we reach the next measure. That's sort of the point of it. It makes dissonance that resolves to consonance, and so it sort of enhances that relationship. It's sort of like if you're editing a picture and you turn the contrast up. The darker becomes darker, and the brighter becomes brighter. And so I'll go ahead and I'll play this for you, and you can listen for this right here. These 2 notes are our anticipation. And I didn't try. I stayed within all the bounds that we set. So anyways, yeah, if you have any questions about this, let me know. Subscribe. Hopefully you're beginning to see the usefulness of all these chord building exercises, because if I didn't do all those other videos, literally everything before this would all just wash over people like crazy. But you need this, because then we can really talk about stuff that's happening, instead of like in MIDI music theory, I make a number of compromises as far as how far I can really go, just because people want to know how to write cool music and get to chord progressions fast. They're not as interested in learning like all these functional details. But when you know them, you have way more options available to you. Subscribe and have a blessed day.